Welcome to CE 405 Environmental Engineering 1 Module 6 Part 2. In this session, I am going to explain about the methods of distribution system and the analysis of pipe networks. Here we learned about the layout of a pipe network, that is the distribution system. Four layouts we already learned. Then the method of distribution of water to the public is we are going to study. That is, first one is gravitational system, second one is pumping system, third one is combined gravitational and pumping system. Let's know one by one. That is, first one is gravitational system. As the name suggests, the water flow according to the gravitational force. That is, there will be a source of water and there will be a storage of water, then the water supply. These three operations are happening in a water distribution system. If we are taking water from a high elevated area or high elevated source, then we can distribute water through gravitational force. That is, nothing extra electric power is required for distribution of water. This is only possible when the source of water is in a high elevation, and the water to be distributed to the public should lie in a low level, that is in a low elevation location. And this is a most economical and reliable method, and there will not be any interruptions because of this gravitational system, because there is no power required, so power failure did not affect the water supply. This is the figure for gravitational system. Here you can see the main source of water at the elevation, and the distribution is at a lower level. And here the head loads are noted in the figure. Then maximum demand is given and minimum demand is given, and the total head loss is given. And a minimum head difference should be there between the source and the distribution public pipelines. Then the pumping system, that is pumping without storage. Here we accept or provide this system only if the source of water is at a lower level or at a lower elevation, and the area or locality to be distributed, the water is to be distributed to a locality at a higher elevation, then we have to accept this pumping system, that is direct pumping is happening. In this system there is no storage, only direct pumping is done. But the main disadvantage of this pumping system is if power failure occurs, then the water supply will be stopped. And here high lift pumps are required. The figure shows the pumping system, and here you can see the pumping houses and the raw water sources and the head difference and the head loss, that is minimum demand and maximum demand is provided. This is the schematic representation of a pumping system. The third one is combined gravitational and pumping system, that is pumping with the storage. And this is also a reliable system. Here we are using the storage, that is a reservoir is constructed at a high elevation, and the water is pumped from the source after treatment to this reservoir, and from this reservoir the constructed in a high elevated area is distributed to the public through the gravitational force. This is the combined gravitational and pumping system. The figure shows the schematic representation of combined gravitational and pumping system. Here you can see the reservoir at the highest elevation, and the distribution is done at a lower area through the gravitational force. Then the analysis of pipe networks. We learned about the distribution systems, then the method of distribution, then the analysis of pipe network. The water is supplied to the network, but we have to design the pipe network according to the water availability or discharge of water through the pipelines. First of all, the supply of water that we have already know how much quantity of water is going to supply a particular area. But we have to design the pipe according to the requirement of water in that area. For this, we are assuming a particular discharge through the pipe, and after this assumption, the correction is calculated, and after all these corrections, we are fixing the discharge through that pipe, and according to this discharge, we are calculating or designing the diameter of the pipe and the length of the pipe in the pipe network. For this, we are accepting two methods, that is Hardy-Cross method and equivalent pipe method. First, we will go through this Hardy-Cross method. This is the procedure for a Hardy-Cross method for calculating or the analysis of pipe network. First step, select separate circuit and assume any distribution of flow such that flow entering a junction is equal to flow leaving that junction. For a pipe network, there will be obviously a network will be there and junctions will be there. Then the first law or first procedure is that the flow entering a junction should be equal to flow leaving that junction. This is the first rule. Then second is the compute the head loss in each pipe considering clockwise flow as positive and anti-clockwise flow as negative. If we are considering a rectangular pipe network, suppose A, B, C, D is the pipe network that is in rectangular shape, then AB the flow will be clockwise. If we are giving arrow A to B, then it will be clockwise. Then flow will be B to C, then it will be clockwise. Then C to D, then it will be clockwise. Then we are assuming a flow to C to D, so or D to A. Then it will be clockwise. And if we are considering AD pipe as AD, then the flow will be anti-clockwise. If we are taking D to A, that is A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A, then all the flow will be in clockwise direction. If we are taking the pipe as A to D, then the flow will be negative. That is the second rule. That is, all the clockwise flow as positive and anti-clockwise flow as negative. Then head loss can be calculated by using the formula HL is equal to K into QA raised to X. Here HL is the head loss in the pipe, and head loss will be positive if QA is positive and vice versa. That is, QA is the assumed flow in liters per second or meter cube per second. K is a constant according to which equation we are using for calculating the head loss. That is, for calculating the head loss, we have three formulas, that is Manning's formula, Darcy-Weisbach equation, and Hazen-Williams formula. That we will learn later in coming slides. And K is equal to, here the K is equal to L divided by 470 D raised to 4.87. This is according to some equation. L is the length of the pipe in meter. This K will be changing according to Manning's formula, the Darcy-Weisbach equation, and the Hazen-Williams formula. Here D is the diameter of the pipe in meter, X is a constant, and X is equal to 1.85 for Hazen-Williams formula, and X is equal to 2 for Manning's formula and Darcy-Weisbach formula. Here is the Manning's formula, that is the head-loss equation. HL is equal to N square V square into L divided by R raised to 4 by 3. Here N is the Manning's rugosity coefficient which will be given, and L is the length of the pipe in meter, V is the flow velocity through the pipe in meter per second. Here we can substitute V as Q by A, that is discharge divided by area of cross section. Then only we get the correct equation for HL, that is for calculating the K of the equation. HL is equal to K into QA raised to X. For converting this particular head loss equation to K into QA raised to X, you have to convert the velocity into Q by A. Then R is the hydraulic mean depth of the pipe, that is A by P, that is pi d square divided by 4 divided by pi d, that is d by 4 in meter. This is the Manning's formula. This formula you can convert into K into QA raised to X, where K is the coefficients, that is constant in the Manning's formula. That is here the rest of the part, that is except QA part, that is the discharge part, all other parts will come under the value K. I hope you understood. Then Darcy-Weisbach formula. Here is the head loss equation of Darcy-Weisbach, that is F dash into L divided by D into V square by 2G. Here HL is the head loss in meter, L is the length of the pipe in meter, D is the diameter of the pipe in meter, V is the mean velocity of flow through the pipe in meters per second. Here also you have to convert this velocity V into Q by A, so that we can convert this equation into a form that is needed for Hardy-Cross method, that is HL is equal to K into QA raised to X. All the other part, rest of the part, that is Q other than the QA part, we will consider as K. Then the William-Hazen's formula, that is HL is equal to 1 by 0.094 into Q divided by CH raised to 1.85 into L divided by D raised to 4.87. Here CH is the coefficient of hydraulic capacity of pipe material, or Hazen-Williams coefficient, and Q is the discharge in liters per second. Here we already converted the formula into the discharge in terms of discharge, that is Q. Then there is no problem in converting this formula into the form, that is HL is equal to K into QA raised to X. Here CH is the Hazen-Williams coefficient, that is for cast iron pipes 130, 120 and 100 is adopting. We can adopt from 100 to 130 depending upon the age of the pipe. That is for 20-year-old pipe we can adopt at 120, or for 5 years it is 130. Commonly CH we are taking the value as 100. Then after this, compute the total head loss sigma HL. Then the fourth step is compute mode of HL by QA for each pipe, and compute sigma mode of HL by QA. Compute the correction for the network by using the formula delta is equal to minus sigma HL divided by X into sigma mode of HL by QA. Apply the corrections to the flow in each pipe. Then common pipe to two lobes will receive both corrections. That is, if a big rectangular pipe network is there and there is a common pipe, that is, there is a separation, that is, two rectangles are joined together to form a pipe network, then there will be a common pipe, then one loop will be corrected first, then the other loop will be corrected second, then the two corrections will be applied to the common pipe that is provided at the middle. This is the sixth step. Then apply the correction twice. Then only we will get the corrected discharge, and according to this discharge, we are going to design the pipe diameter in the pipe network system. This Hardy-Cross method will be thorough by solving an example. This will be discussed in another session. And this is the first example, and this is the second example. These two examples will be discussed in the coming sessions. I hope you understood the theory of Hardy-Cross method. By solving these two problems, you will be thoroughly understand what is happening. Then take care. Thank you and bye-bye.